All right, so here we've got a stack of oranges, a square pyramid with 10 layers. So this would be our 10th layer, and this would be our first layer here. And we want to write an equation to represent the number of the oranges in each layer. Well, if this is the first layer, the next layer goes like this. And the next layer down, if you're looking at it, would go like this. And I think we've got a little pattern here already, that this is 1, 2, and 3 in terms of the layers, and their values are simply squared. So n squared is the rule for each of the layers. And if I wanted to find out, n goes from 1 to 10 of the 10 layers, this is what I would have. Now, in order to figure out the answer, this is not arithmetic or geometric, so there's no real formula that I can use. I just need to go ahead and add them all up. So I'm going to add up 1 squared, which is 1, plus 2 squared, which is 4, plus 3 squared, which is 9, let's see, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. Did I do that right? 49? Yep. So I have 385 is our total. If 4 more rows, or 5 more rows were added to the pyramid, how many oranges would be in the stack? So I'm going to add 121 and 144 and 169 and 196 and 225, and I've got my new total. So no formula really to make that work, but we can always just go ahead and add them in there. All right, so we've got a little bit of March Madness, and we have 32 games is where it all starts. And then just the winners go on. So this is our first term. In our second term, we would have only 16 games, and our third, only half of those, which would be 8, and our fourth would be 4, and our fifth would be 2, and our sixth is just 1 game, which would be the final game that was played. So the sigma notation is n goes from 1 to 6. So 6 is our limitation because we can't play a half a game. That doesn't really work. And then in terms of the rules, our initial value going backwards would be 64. Oops, be 64 as our initial value. Up a little bit. So we have 64, and then we would multiply that by our multiplier, which is 1/2 to the n. And so how many total games will be played in the tournament? And so I have, the reality is honestly, I would just add those up. Yeah, I could put it into a formula and do that, but just add them up. So I add them all up, and I get simply 63 as my answer. Now, how does limitation on n, how does it relate to the situation? When you get down to 1 game, the next one is a half a game, and then a quarter of a game, and etc. That doesn't make any sense. So we're limited by the number of games that actually can be played.